So dear students, this is the second part of the center of mass, and here we are discussing the motion of center of mass. In the last video I was telling you about the coordinates of the center of mass, that is the location. Now we look at the motion. So I am rewriting the equation which I wrote, that is xcm equals to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus so on upon m1 plus m2. Now I would request you to remember the process of differentiation a little bit. यहाँ पे आपने देखा होगा you wrote v is equal to dx by dt. तो यहाँ पे अभी हम क्या करेंगे, I will differentiate it. So I will say dxcm by dt. So rate of change of x coordinate of center of mass with respect to time. Rate of change of x coordinate of the center of mass with respect to time. Now when you differentiate the left side, you have to differentiate the right side. You know that you only differentiate variables like these masses m1 m2, they are constants. So in the first place, let us remember that when I said xcm, then it is for point masses that I am writing. m1 m2 collection of so many point masses. So m1 into, देखिए what I am writing is dx1 by dt plus m2 into dx2 by dt plus so on upon m1 plus m2 plus so on. So that becomes now dx1 by dt, dx2 by dt. So these are the individual instantaneous velocities of particle, individual instantaneous velocities. So we will write it as m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus so on upon m1 plus m2 plus so on. Now this whole thing I am writing as the velocity of the center of mass, that is m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus upon m1 plus m2. Now before I go on to explain you this equation, I am asking you a very small question. Suppose these are two equal masses and both of them are moving with equal velocities in opposite directions, then what is the velocity of the center of mass? Now this is a damn easy question, but sometimes we don't understand the questions at all. That is why in problem solving video I said understand the question properly. These are two equal masses, and these pens must be of equal mass approximately. They are moving in opposite directions. So what is the velocity of the center of mass? Answer of this question should be 0. Why? Because these are moving in opposite directions with opposite velocities, and that means the center of mass is not moving. So it's very interesting. Just look at this. These two pens are moving. Now these two are equal masses. Their center of mass is in the middle. Now they are moving with equal velocities. Now suppose they are here. The center of mass is again at the middle. Now they are here. They will go out of my camera after some time. Again the center of mass is here. Is the center of mass changing? No, center of mass is obviously not changing. Just the masses individually are moving, but their center of mass is fixed. So the velocity of center of mass is 0. So there is a difference between the velocity of the center of mass and the velocity of the constituent particles. Means वो सेंटर ऑफ मास जिन पार्टिकल्स का आप समझ रहे हो उनकी वेलोसिटी अलग बात है और इस सेंटर ऑफ मास की वेलोसिटी अलग बात है. सो दिस इज द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द सेंटर ऑफ मास. नाउ इफ इन द डिनोमिनेटर if I write like this m1 plus m2 as total mass, then we get another very interesting and important equation. We get m into vcm is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus m3 v3. Now remember, when I differentiated position, then what I got was velocity. So this is the velocity. Let me mention it here because you may think it is speed. It is not speed, it is velocity of the center of mass. Now all of you have heard very important quantity m into vcm. You may not be clear about it yet, but you can recall a little bit. There is a quantity that is product of mass and velocity, which you call as momentum. The product of mass and velocity, which you call as momentum. So when I say m into vcm, we can write it as pcm. You will be surprised what this is. This is p is the symbol for momentum. In physics, when you say p, it means the momentum. So this is pcm, is the momentum of the center of mass. Now m1 v1 is p1, m2 v2 is p2, m3 v3 is p3. Now these P1, P2, P3 are the momenta. Momenta is the plural of momentum. These are the momenta of individual particles, and this is the momentum of center of mass. So I can say that momentum of the center of mass is the sum of the momenta of the individual particles जिनका center of mass हम calculate करे हैं xcm. Actually, when you say PCM, this is again a vector. So the better way to write this equation would be, although I have written it like this, would be like this: PCM, which is vector, is equal to sum of these vectors. So if you know the momenta of all the particles of the system, then you can know the momentum of the center of mass. So first I calculated the velocity, then I cross multiplied with the total mass to get the momentum of the center of mass, which is the sum of the momenta of the individual particles of which this system or this object is made up of, or this system is made up of. Now of course, if there is a ball which is moving like this, like in space, then we can say all the particles have the same velocity. Then you say if this object is moving with 10 meters per second, then of course the center of mass is also moving with 10 meters per second. But when there is a case like those two pens and these are 2 point masses, then the velocity of the center of mass is, which is given by this equation. Now here I have not broken it into x, y and z directions, because obviously I differentiated x. So ideally this should be the velocity of center of mass in x direction. If I write y coordinate, which is m1 y1 plus m2 y2 and so on upon m1 plus m2 plus m3, then I will get the velocity of the center of mass in y direction, then velocity of center of mass in z direction. Or simply if I put a vector sign over this, as I have put here in momentum, then you can say that this is the velocity which can be in any direction, x, y or z, and then we get m1 into v1. So this equation also, just as I wrote this equation vectorially, this equation also we can write in vector form, like v vector cm equals to m1 v1 vector plus m2 v2 vector upon m1 plus m2 plus m3. So through this calculation I got velocity of center of mass and also the momentum of the center of mass. Two important things are coming up. Now here, because again I am saying, I'll go on repeating, that my focus is on problem solving, where which is the gray area of most of the students. Now for example, you say that the velocity is given by this and momentum is given by product of mass and velocity. Now Newton's second law says force is equal to the rate of change of momentum. You know this. Force is equal to the rate of change of momentum. Which force? The external force. Or you can say the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the external force. Now, if the external force is zero, then momentum is not going to change. If external force on a system or an object is zero, then momentum does not change. That means the velocity remains constant. So here also you can say that, like if I am attaching the second law here, if F external is equal to 0, then you say that the momentum does not change. So change in momentum, delta P is 0, that means momentum remains conserved. Now if you apply this Newton's second law to system of particles, let us say, what will you say? You will say that if there is no force on a system of particles which is external from outside, then the momentum will not change. Or you can say then that PCM will be constant. I am writing constant. Matlab, when I am saying this is constant, then I mean to say that delta change in this is 0. So there is no change in the momentum. So momentum of the center of mass will remain constant and not changing. Now, for example, these are two, again I am taking these two pens, they are oppositely charged particles, positive and negative. Now as soon as you leave them, they attract towards each other and like this. They are attracted. Maybe they are opposite poles of a magnet or opposite charges, positive and negative. So now you will be confused. You will say, oh sir, they have started moving, so there is some momentum in the system. There is some momentum in the system. Of course, there is momentum in these two pens. but if you look carefully, then they apply equal and opposite forces. The net external force on this system of two charges is 0, and this says that if external is 0, then change in momentum is 0. There should be no change in momentum, and you will think there is change in momentum because this has momentum, this has momentum. But here what you should focus on is the momentum of the center of mass. So just remember, a moment ago I told you that their center of mass is in the middle. Now if they come closer, they are opposite. Center of mass is in the middle. Now they are closer, then the center of mass is in the middle. So center of mass is wherever it was. It's not changing its position, means its velocity is 0. So now the center of mass velocity is 0. Now even if they are moving, the velocity of center of mass is 0. So velocity of center of mass is different from the velocity of individual particles. So what this says is, if external force is 0, then momentum of center of mass is constant. That is, if it was 0 initially, it will continue to be 0. So this motion of center of mass is very important compared to the motion of individual particles that we consider. Just remember this. So this is the first thing. Now if there is, let us say, a calculation required for the velocity of center of mass, we can do it using this simple formula. So I think you have understood this very important topic of velocity of center of mass and momentum, and when will the momentum or velocity of center of mass change? Whenever there is an external force. Force between individual particles is internal to that system, so that will not count. You have to apply force from outside on a system to change its momentum. So this falls in line with law of conservation of momentum, which I will also explain you a bit later. So let us try to calculate the velocity of the center of mass. Let us try to calculate. So suppose this is mass m1. I am taking very simple examples, so some of you will think, oh, he is taking too simple, but right now to just explain you the concepts, very simple examples are needed. Let us say this is 2 meters per second and this is m2 equals to 2 kg. So this is m1 and m2, two masses which are moving towards each other with velocities 2 and 2, same velocity but different masses, and I need to calculate the velocity of the center of mass. So I will apply my formula m1 v1 plus m2 v2 upon m1 plus m2. Now the students who are weak in physics will do immediate mistake. What they will do, if I had been in my class 10th maybe or someone, I would have said 1 into 2 plus 2 into 2 upon m1 plus m2. I would quickly say the answer is 2 2s are 4 plus 2 6 divided by 2 3. So I would have said, sir, 3 units, not even the units I know, but 3 is meter per second, the unit. But this is the wrong answer. This is not the correct answer. Why? Because its velocity is plus 2, its velocity is minus 2, and I told you this is the velocity. So you have to take care of the signs for velocity. So you should say it is 1 into 2, then I should say minus 2 into 2. Why minus? Because if this velocity is positive, this velocity is negative, upon 1 plus 2, that is 3. So the answer is 2 minus 4. How much is that? It is minus 2 by 3 meters per second. This all SI units I am taking. So the velocity of center of mass is minus 2 by 3 meters per second. Just take a moment to understand what it means. It means that the center of mass is moving in this direction because the velocity is negative. You may be surprised what is moving in that direction. So I will say nothing is moving. Yet if you ask like the representative point of this, suppose you remove these two and you take this as the representative point, which is center of mass, and somebody asks you the velocity of this, then you say that this center of mass, which is 1 plus 2 kg, means see the center of mass which is representing this system, the whole mass is imagined to be concentrated here. 2 plus 1, you can put 3 kg here, and this 3 kg will be moving with speed of minus 2 by 3 meters per second in this direction. So there is actually nothing there at that point, but still that representative point has a velocity 2 by 3 meters per second is something that we should actually understand. these individual velocities are different, 2 and 2 which are same, but velocity of center of mass is minus 2 by 3. Now unless there is some external force, which is possible only either you apply force on this, that is also force on the system, or you apply force on this, that is also force on the system from outside, then this velocity will change and then the momentum will change. But if they are attracted to each other and moving because of their mutual attraction, then this momentum is never going to change. So this is also a law of conservation of momentum, which is very closely linked to the motion of the center of mass. Now one more topic and I finish with this video. So I make sure to keep the length of the video 25 minutes at the most, even for these complex topics. Now suppose somebody asks you to calculate the acceleration of the center of mass. Whenever you find COM, understand that it is center of mass. So when I said velocity, then I said VCM, and if I write it in vector form as I said, then the proper way of writing is this: m1 into v1 vector plus m2 into v2 vector, because I took plus minus sign. So I should, if I write v1 v2, you may make the mistake of not choosing the direction or sign, upon m1 plus m2 plus this. Now if you differentiate it once again, what do you get? dVcm vector by dt is equal to m1 dvv1 by dt plus m2 dv2 vector by dt plus so on upon, can I write m1 plus m2 as capital M simply? Why to go on writing always m1 plus m2? Because this is the total mass of the system, which is m here. Now look here, this becomes acceleration, because I have to find acceleration of center of mass. So this becomes ACM, and now I am writing it in vector form, which is the ideal thing. Even if you don't write, it is okay, but better to write because this is also a vector quantity. Now this becomes A1 vector, the acceleration of the first particle, A2 vector, acceleration of the second particle upon m. Now just like velocity, a similar formula. So in a way, center of mass is very easy. The same formula that you apply for position applies for velocity and acceleration also. Now I am not writing in x and y directions, but you can also break this into three parts, that is acceleration in x direction of the center of mass in y direction. So if somebody asks you component wise velocity or acceleration, then it would be something like this. Let me tell you, so you don't say that I didn't tell you. So suppose somebody asks you the x component, so you will say x center of mass in x direction is equal to A1 m1 into A1 in x direction plus m2 into A2 in x direction, so on upon total mass. So this is the x coordinate of the center of mass equals to m1 into x coordinate of the first particle plus m2 into x coordinate of the second particle upon the total mass. So this is the x, y, z also, but this equation is in whole in itself. This contains x, y, z all if you put vector sign here. Now just as I connected the velocity with momentum in the previous case, this can be connected to something also. Now if you cross multiply this, you get m into ACM equals to m1 A1. This also gives a very interesting result, plus so on. Now MACM, MA, F is equal to MA. This is the symbol of my channel also. F is equal to MA, because I believe that this is the most important part of physics in classical physics. I am not talking of quantum physics, most important part. So MACM is nothing but, if this is the F external, Newton sir said that the external force is mass into acceleration for a constant mass system, if the mass is not changing, not like rocket propulsion. For a constant mass system, this is mass into acceleration, which is external force, and then it becomes F1 vector plus F2 vector. So you get very common sense result out of this actually. You get that the total external force on a system of particles is sum of the individual forces which are acting on those particles. As for example, these are 3 point masses. On this there is a force F1, in vector of course this is force F2, and this is force F3. Now if somebody asks you what is the total force on the center of mass, Again, I will say there is nothing like center of mass, but a representative point which you can imagine. So the force on that imaginary point would be, if you want to find the total external force, would be this force in vector form plus this force in vector form plus this force in, which you will say is very common sense, but with respect to center of mass, this we have got by the equation of the center of mass itself. And if you want to calculate the acceleration, then you again divide it by the mass here. So then if I divide by mass, again what is left on left hand side is ACM, and this will again become m1a1 plus m2a2 upon the mass of this. So you can see what are the accelerations of these individual particles, keeping track of the signs again once again. Like if this acceleration is +2 and this acceleration is in this direction, that is -2, then you should put proper signs. So with this, I finish off with this particular topic of the motion of the center of mass. So I hope what is the meaning of center of mass, what is the basic equation of the center of mass coordinates, and the velocity, momentum and acceleration of the center of mass is quite clear to you. So in these two short videos, I want to just in a nutshell in 40-45 minutes wanted to explain you what is center of mass and how you do some amount of calculations. On this I have not done a problem, but we can do. I can choose two masses, have their accelerations and then do my calculations. So of course in problems part we are going to do many such things. Maybe I will give you 1,000 or 2,000 problems to solve in next 1 year. So with this we come to the end of this video. See you in another one.